Hello and welcome to NCTV episode 42, which is all about ankle sprains. So why talk about ankle sprains, I hear you ask? Well, as my oldest brother Graham can attest to, and myself from my footballing days, they are one of the most commonly sprained joints in the body. The actual injury can be more complex than you'd actually think, and as a result, it requires proper management to ensure a full recovery. So what is an ankle sprain? It's an overstretch or a tear in one or more of the ligaments in the ankle, and usually the outer ones. The ligaments themselves are slightly elastic bands of tissue that keep the bones together and in place. Because the ankle is responsible for both weight bearing and mobility, it's particularly susceptible to injury. Also, the ankle is a very small joint and has to withstand large forces when walking, running and jumping. So it's especially susceptible to sprain on uneven surfaces too. Most ankle sprains happen when the ankle rolls or twists suddenly, usually in a rapid and uncontrolled way. Most commonly when the foot rolls onto the outside of the ankle, straining the outside ligaments of the joint. The symptoms of an ankle sprain are pain, tenderness, swelling, bruising, trouble moving the ankle, and sometimes an inability to put your full weight on it. Most people recover completely from mild sprains within 2 to 6 weeks. More severe sprains can take up to 6 months before you can fully return back to activity or sport. Once a significant sprain occurs, without good rehabilitation, the joint may never be as strong as it was before the injury. It's not surprising, therefore, that many people have a history of repeated ankle sprains. With the correct rehabilitation, however, you can help your ankle become even stronger than it was before the injury. Tissue injury involves damage to the small blood vessels, and that results in bleeding at the site of the injury. This bleeding then leads to inflammation, which is part of the natural healing process. However, the body tends to overreact to sudden traumatic injury, and as a result, excessive inflammatory fluid accumulates, which can result in scar tissue production. Too much scar tissue may prevent normal function with reduced flexibility and an increased risk of re-injury. So what to do about it? Well, immediately afterwards, you should follow the price guidelines for at least 3 days before doing anything else. And after that, your friendly local osteopath or other physical therapist can assist. In case you're not familiar with PRICE, this is an acronym. P meaning protect the ankle from any undue stress and avoid all movements in the same direction that caused the injury. R being rest, unload the joint or take the weight off it as much as you can for the first 72 hours after the injury. Try to avoid walking on the joint as much as possible. I is for ice. It's an amazing natural healer and a great short-term pain reducer. It also has beneficial effects in reducing swelling and promoting healing. The optimal amount of time to apply ice is around 10 minutes on bony areas such as the ankle. Also, it can be applied as often as desired to achieve pain relief, ideally maybe once every 1 or 2 hours. C is for compression, and this is advised for the first 72 hours, but only while your foot is not elevated. The compression can be as firm as you like, as long as it doesn't cause pins and needles or a loss of feeling around the joint. And finally, E is for elevation, and that's of the leg. So you can do it on a sofa, footstool or bed, for example, and this reduces the blood flow to the area, which helps to reduce the swelling. This is highly recommended in the first 72 hours after an injury as well. However, remove any compression while your foot is elevated, unless you are wearing just a light compression bandage. When following PRICE, it's also important to avoid harm, hence the saying give price and avoid harm. HARM is another acronym for heat, alcohol, running and massage. Following this acute management phase, someone like myself can then start the hands-on treatment to mobilise and strengthen the joint. And this phase of the treatment is critical to ensure that you return to full function and prevent future injury. And finally, remember that adequate preparation for activity is key, and weight-bearing activities should be progressed gently. Drastic changes in activity level and performing unpracticed skills expose your ankle to re-injury. Another key to rehabilitation is to gradually build up your level of fitness, and that way your ankle and the rest of your body will thank you for it. That's it for today. See you next time for some more bite-sized bits to help your health flourish. Bye-bye for now.